Desmond Ovbiagele, writer, producer, director of a feature film called Render to Caesar.
Oh. How did the idea for the film come about?
Well, sometime around 2011, I was looking to do my first film in Nigeria, and I was looking for an idea. I knew I wanted it to be a crime drama, a crime thriller, but I wasn't quite sure in what space that was going to take place. So I started to look for stories, I started to look for sources of inspiration. And at that particular time, this is about November, December 2011, there was a preponderance of bank-related crimes, oftentimes violent, in the city of Lagos. Lagos, as one of the mega cities in Nigeria, has its own fair share of issues, and crime was one of them. So I did a lot of research in terms of how crimes were being committed in Lagos, and that actually informed the nucleus of the story of Render to Caesar.
So what's the main story of Render to Caesar?
Well, Render to Caesar is actually about two friends who returned home from abroad to join the Nigerian police force as detectives. And they are assigned to the Lagos State Police Command and are given the assignment to hunt and apprehend a notorious criminal who is wreaking havoc throughout the city of Lagos with a series of daring and violent bank robberies. So this is really their challenge, to hunt and apprehend this criminal. We released Render to Caesar in March earlier this year, 2014, and the cinema release was actually quite good. It spent 6 weeks in the cinemas throughout Nigeria, which is quite long for a local production. We did have to go head-to-head against some big budget Hollywood films, which did give us some stiff competition, particularly in the opening weeks of our release. But after that, we did have a fairly good patronage at the cinemas.
Is it available online on platforms like Box?
Not yet. I mean, right at the moment, I'm negotiating with a few of the platforms in terms of distribution, Box included. But we'll see how those negotiations go in the next few weeks. Again, I'm having negotiations with some platforms in other African countries, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, some of those countries to exhibit the film to.
But what's your next film project?
Next film project, that's a $1 million question. I did like my second project to be also in Nigeria, so I'm actually thinking of some plots, either in South Africa or in the United Kingdom. I haven't quite decided which, but in the next month or two I plan to pitch my tent in one of those territories, and that will inform what my next project will be.